Alright, it's recording.
Hey guys!
Hi, it's Ebony.
And Era. And we are the Extraordinary Sister Nerds!
Yay! Okay, so the answer to last week's quote before we forget. I
almost forgot, to be honest. I really did.
Okay, the answer to last week's quote is The
Breakfast Club!
If you guys haven't seen it, it's a classic, so...
If you haven't seen it...
That's sad. That's just really sad.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Like, if you haven't seen that movie, you get silence from me.
Yeah, silence. Absolute
It's
silence.
such a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very inspirational. A lot of people quote it to this day.
Yeah, and it's inspired a lot of other movies, too. It's like the 80s, like, cult classic trope, along with, like, Lost Boys and all those, and Pretty in Pink, and so many movies.
16 Candles.
16 Candles. Got Molly Ringwald in it. She's in, like, almost everything.
So this week's quote, I lost it. Give me a moment.
What?
Okay, I found it.
Good.
So, your only limit is your soul.
And since this is our finale for this season,
we're changing it up.
We will tell you the answer to the quote at the end of the podcast, so stay tuned.
You better stay the entire time so you can figure out what the answer is. And so you can hear our stuff.
Yeah. So, like I said, this is the finale for this season.
Yeah, we are actually going to be doing a Halloween special, and we're going to be doing a Christmas special.
So, around in a month or so, stay tuned for our Halloween special. But so for our finale, we decided to talk about one of our favorite, like top favorite movies.
Very good movie. Beautiful movie.
Sad, but just,
And it's by our favorite director.
Yes. So the movie is Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes. And that is by
Guillermo del Toro.
Yes. Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, you got it.
Gosh dang it.
And in Spanish, it's actually called El Labryinth. Yeah? Yeah?
Is that what it is in Spanish?
Yeah, that's what it is in Spanish. What she just said. In Spanish, it's El Laberinto del Fauno. That's, Guillermo del Toro is actually, he's a Mexican director. No one knew that. He did Pacific Rim.
Yes.
Which, oh my god, I love that movie.
Pacific Rim was good.
Yeah.
He did,
Hellboy!
And what was that other movie he did? With the little fairies and the girl and the, Katie Holmes and...
Oh, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Yeah.
I thought you were Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were talking about Labyrinth. I'm like, that has a little girl and fairies.
No,
I was like,
no.
Dear, we're talking about the same movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
man.
Did he direct Mama?
Ooh, I think he did.
I feel like he did.
You're probably right. What did they get on IMDb? Like, what was the? I can't remember.
So while we're looking this up, this movie got an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
What?
And the movie is actually in full Spanish. Guillermo del Toro refused to make the film in English because he didn't want to compromise in the storyline to suit the market needs.
But he did write the subtitles himself.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want it to feel like a subtitled film. So he wanted everybody to be included. But he has such a rich... And he also does the show The Strain, which you haven't watched that. It's really good.
I haven't watched that.
It's so good.
Is it on Netflix?
No.
Oh.
Wait. It might be.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out.
But he has... Guillermo del Toro is very into, like, bringing in, like, the Mexican and the Hispanic culture into his works. So he's very invested in that, which is amazing.
You guys want to hear something crazy? This movie won 101 awards.
Oh my god.
And was nominated for 105.
Like, they deserved it. That movie was just pure magic. It was honestly magical.
And it won 3 Oscars.
Oh my god.
So, this movie is amazing. It's beautiful. And it's just, it is very sad. We will say that. It is sad.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It really is. Because, I lost my train of thought.
I could talk about, like, who's in it.
Yeah.
So we've got Doug Jones,
He was the only American.
Yeah. And if you have watched a lot of Guillermo del Toro movies, he's in almost every single one of them. Almost. And Guillermo del Toro did not direct Mama.
Oh, okay.
No.
Who was that then?
It was Andre something. I just saw it.
Oh, okay.
But still watch Mama. Mama's amazing also. But yeah, Doug Jones he was in Hellboy. He was Abe Sapien. He was in Pan's Labyrinth. I think he's the Fawn.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doug Jones is like staple Guillermo del Toro. He's in almost every single thing he does. Sergi Lopez, Maribel Verdú, who's in not the Motorcycle Diaries, Y Tu Mama Tambien. Then there's Ivana Baquero, who is in Shannara Chronicles. And those are the names that, like, you guys, like, maybe will know who they are, but, like, those are kind of the main characters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So Doug Jones was the Fawn.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the Fawn's horns weighed 10 pounds and had to be applied last because they were so heavy.
Oh, my God. Like,
that'd be rough.
That would be rough. It was just, like, and how, like, the intricacy and, like, oh, my God, like, I really wish we could show you guys the movie, like, while we're talking about it, but it's, like, it's the
Copyright.
Costume, I know, the costume, the detail in it, all this, it is pure beauty.
It's beautiful, and apparently the Fawn's image is incorporated in the architecture.
I think I remember, I'm gonna watch it again to look at it, because I think I heard about that, too, and that makes a lot of sense, because it's, like, it's kind of like, they do a lot of foreshadowing,
mm-hmm.
And just kind of like, with Ophelia, who is played by Ivana, the main little girl, she's going through and, like, I guess that starts, like, as a reminder of, like, the tasks that she has to do, so she sees the Fawn everywhere.
Yeah. So, okay, a little bit about the movie.
Okay, yeah.
So,
it takes place in Spain.
It's based in 1944.
Yeah, so it's, like, it happens, like, apparently 5 years after the Spanish Civil War.
Yeah, so it shows you this little girl and her mother who's
mm-hmm.
pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the car and they pull up and
they're driving to meet because her mother got remarried.
Yeah, and they're moving to, like, this new house, which is where their base is technically.
Yeah, because the stepfather is a general.
He's somebody really high up.
Yeah, high-ranking military position and they're fighting against these rebels. And so, where the house they're at is a base, what, like, Diarra said.
Yeah, and the land is beautiful.
Oh,
there's a lot of, like, mysterious stuff.
It's a forest around them. And
Ophelia, she kind of wanders off when they first move in.
Yeah, because, and you meet this guy, it's...
The stepdad was kind of an ass.
He's an ass. He is, like...
Not kind of. He was legitimately.
He's a villain. He is the antagonist in the film. Because you've got Ophelia, who's the protagonist, and what is it? Like, the heroine. But, yeah, you've got her stepdad, he is the antagonist, he is the villain. He is, yeah.
Yeah, at first you see him, he's like to the mom, and, and he's like, I'm
he's
so
not
excited.
even a nice little mom.
Well, kind of, because, like, she's pregnant, he's like, we'll make sure you're taken care of.
And that was deceiving.
Yeah, very
that was deceiving. Because you're like, okay, because, like, you think that he's like, yeah, he's trying to take care of her. God, the guy was so bad.
He was so bad, now that you think about it. But, so Ophelia wanders off, and she ends up finding, was it like a maze, or...
A labyrinth. It was
a labyrinth. Okay, not
well,
maze.
Okay. Ophelia's how old? We forgot to mention how old she is. Is she like 11?
She's like, I think it was 11.
Yeah, she's young. She's like she is a child.
Yeah, she's a child.
She's not like a teenager or an adult. She's a child. But go ahead, what you're saying.
Yeah, but she wanders into the labyrinth, and that's when she first meets the Fawn.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of talks to her, and she's like, "Who are you? What do you want?"
Yeah.
And
he calls her princess.
Yeah, he calls her princess because they think that she is the...
Okay, they tell a story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
go ahead.
They tell a story. The Fawn tells her a story about how there's a kingdom, like, far underground, like a fairy kingdom far underground, and a king and queen had a daughter who was extremely curious. And one day she wandered up into, like, our land, and she was blinded by the sun and forgot where she came from. And so the Fawn was saying that Ophelia is that princess, and so she has to finish these tasks in order to go home to her actual parents.
Yeah, and it's really deep, and she's just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
She goes back home, she sits and thinks about it, and she's like, well, I wonder what these tasks are. So later on that night, she goes back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's kind of like, okay, weird Fawn, telling me things at this weird labyrinth. I don't know.
Yeah, she's pretty skeptical about it, but she goes back. She's really interested in it. And the fawn tells her all these tasks that she needs to do. And what was the first thing that she needed to do? Was she needed to go find the frog, or what was that creepy thing, or was that?
I think it was the frog. Like, you have to, there's a tree that was sick, and inside the tree is a toad that, like, is, like, eating everything. And so she has to make the toad, like, throw up all its food.
Make the toad leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the first task.
And so that scene was very gross.
That was so gross.
And, she goes into this tree. She has to crawl literally underground, under this tree. And then you just see this massive, disgusting toad that's just nasty.
Yeah.
And huge. And
she has to feed it like a...
Yeah, it's like a...
something.
Like some, I don't even know
herb
what it
or
was.
something?
An herb or whatever. She feeds it to him. He just ends up starts throwing up everything.
Gross. That was so gross.
And then he ends up just throwing up his own self, and like it's just dead.
Yeah, it was like inside out.
It was so gross.
But that was the first one. The second one was freaky. It was with the guy with the
eye
hands.
So apparently Stephen King cringed at that part.
Did he really?
Yeah, and Guillermo del Toro was like, that was my life goal, to make Stephen King cringe. Like, it was the best.
Oh my god.
But that part is really scary.
Okay, so that task, she's supposed to go to this other world and get a key. Was it a key?
I think it was a key.
And what the instructions were. And she also was given fairies to guide her.
Yeah.
The instructions were to go get the key. Do not eat or drink anything. That's the only instructions she was given. And, like, there was also an hourglass, like, to time how long she could, like, the door will stay open.
Yeah. And she had to use a piece of chalk to draw into the wall. And this was when she actually was given her own room up in the attic because the mom was needing her own space to sleep.
She was having complications with the pregnancy.
Yeah, because they were sleeping together for a while. And, we forgot to mention the root.
Oh, okay, yeah. As compensation for doing good on the first task, the fawn gave her, what was it? A mandrake root?
It looked like a root. It honestly looked like
It looked like ginger.
It looked like ginger, basically.
I think it was like yeah.
But she had to pour some milk in it, put the root into it, and put it under the bed.
And she had to use a drop of blood.
Yeah, a drop of blood
to help with her mom's pregnancy.
Yeah, and it was basically kind of like a voodoo doll.
Yeah, because like. It was a voodoo doll. You were exactly right.
But okay, anyway.
So back to the second.
She was not supposed to eat or drink anything. And before the door closed, she had to get the key and leave.
Yeah, it was that simple. But
there's this full table full of food and deliciousness.
And if you know anything about the fairy world, you don't eat or drink anything from them.
Or they take you forever.
Yes.
And this guy would eat you.
Yeah.
Specifically children.
Did they call him the child eater? What did they call him?
I don't remember.
But you see this creature thing sitting at a table, not moving. He has no eyes, and he has this smallish mouth. And when as you're watching her, there's a giant table, like Diara said, with all this food and these drinks.
It looks delicious. Everything looks fresh.
And and you see like a pile of children's shoes in the corner. And so Ophelia gets the key. She gets the key. She walks past. She almost walks past the table. Almost.
And then she sees grapes.
Yeah, and she's like, one won't hurt. And the fairy's like, no, Ophelia, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're like patting her. They're like trying to push her away, pull her shirt, and she's just like hitting them away.
Yeah.
And she's like, ow.
Yeah, so those fairies were like, no, we're going. And what does she do?
And they're like pointing at the
door?
The door.
Yeah.
They're pointing at what is it?
Hourglass.
And they're like, we need to leave. And she's like, okay, one won't hurt. And then she eats one. She takes another, and she takes another.
She keeps eating the freaking grapes.
You slowly see in the background this creature like getting ready. His eyes are in like a small little case. He uses his hands. He grabs his eyes, puts them in his hands, and puts his hands up to his face so he can see her. And that's when it's just he's just like coming after her, and she's just like and they're running. And at first he grabs one of the fairies and eats its head off.
Oh, yeah, because they were trying to help her.
They were trying to protect her, and she eats the head off. And then she makes it like last minute to the door.
No, the door closes. she has to make another door.
Oh yeah, the door closes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets the chalk and she tries to do another one. The chalk breaks, so she has to do it all over again. And she ends up drawing it to where she has to climb up.
Yeah,
she draws it on the floor, and so she has to climb up the hole. And then it closes, and then when it closes, you see the floor just go boom.
Yeah,
like it was about to get.
That was an intense scene. Like if we even though we told you what happened, you still need to watch it. Like,
yeah, it will make your heart race. You're just my God. No. If it made Stephen King flinch or cringe,
yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, and so that was the second task. And so that task, she got the key, but she still failed.
Yeah, she failed, and like the fawn was really upset because one of the fairies was dead.
Yeah, because he was like,
the fairies told him everything.
Told him. They're like, we're gonna snitch on you. You killed my cousin or whatever. Yeah, they were. Yeah, and so he left her. He left her alone and said, you know what? You don't deserve to go back home. And she was alone, and that's when things were starting to get really bad for her and her mom.
Yeah, her mom started like having even more complications
because the stepdad found the root and threw it in the fire.
Yeah, he threw it in the fire. The mom actually went into early labor, and she died. It was so sad.
The baby survived because he said, because the doctor, I think he said, if you have to make a choice, save the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, like without. I mean, and, like, yeah, like, save the baby, but think about it. That's Ophelia's last blood-related relative. Oh, my God! The maid. Or what's her name?
Oh, the servant lady.
Yeah, okay, so she, from the very beginning, has always been helping Ophelia.
Yeah, she was very nice. She was always, like, Ophelia was able to talk to her about things that was happening.
Yeah.
You know, she was just kind of like a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And,
she's like an older sister almost, like a guardian, yeah. But she has
a brother.
Yeah, so, yeah, throughout this, we're talking about the rebels. She has a brother in the resistance.
Yeah.
And so she sneaks out to give them food, to give them coordinates, to give them plans that's going on with the general and the other side, so that, like, she can help them, because, of course, they want to fight that side. Because we're not kidding. That the stepdad he's evil.
Yeah, he's super. Like, there's this one part where they captured a rebel and they just basically tortured him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mainly the stepdad, who just tortured this poor guy.
Yeah. And the servant's name, her name is Mercedes. We're sorry, I forgot to say that. But yeah. And so you're seeing there's a lot of different stories and things going on, of course, besides Ophelia, because you're seeing what's also going. Like, what else is happening to cause these things, and why the fawn has this urgency for her to get this stuff done. Because you're wondering, like, why are you, like, pushing her to get this done now?
Right.
And it's kind of a toss between, like, fantasy and reality, so you don't know which is real. Like, or you don't know if that the war and everything that's going on, that's real, but if Ophelia is only thinking of this fantasy world in her head.
Yeah, because that was something that I read also, that, like, this movie kind of messes with your head on what is actually reality and what's actually the real, or not, fantasy world.
Yeah, and I have something that he said about the movie, like, about the end, but we won't talk about it yet. I'll talk about it whenever we talk about, like, whenever we're finishing it. I'll tell you what he said about, like, whether or not it was fantasy or if it was not, or if it was real. But yeah, so we've got Mercedes dealing with that. She's got her mother just died. But the resistance, they get captured.
What?
They get captured, or some people of the resistance get captured.
Yeah, that was the guy that he was torturing.
Yeah. Oh, and that was awful. Like, that was a terrible torture scene. Like, it was sad because Mercedes had to go in there to help the general with something, and you can just see that they knew each other. It was. I don't want to talk about that. That's really sad. It makes me really sad. And, like, when the dad and the son got shot, like, it's really, it's hard. It's hard. It is a war movie too, along with being a fantasy. But okay, so yeah, Ophelia failed the second task, so the fawn leaves her alone. That's when everything goes to hell for her. Yeah. So Ophelia, she's alone. She really is alone. She's got this baby brother.
Yeah, and Mercedes, she wants to help as much as she can, but she also wants to care for her brother's situation.
Well, and she doesn't want to get caught, because if she gets caught, she's going to be she's going to be tortured. Well, so she's got to, and she keeps you'll notice that she does something to always protect herself every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember how she got caught. I think it was because the doctor got killed. And then I don't remember exactly how Mercedes got caught.
Basically, he got Mercedes and Ophelia because he was like, Ophelia, it's your fault that your mother died, and like all this stuff.
They tried to run away.
Yeah, and you need to be in the real world. You need to stop going into this fantasies.
You didn't know she was going. It's like, because she reads fairy tale books.
Yeah, but that's why he was like, you need to stop.
Yeah, he used to
stop being so like distracted.
This is an 11-year-old girl who just lost her mother. And he said that way before it was just awful. But she tried to run away with Mercedes in the woods, and the general actually followed them and got them. And so he locked Ophelia in a room and then got Mercedes and was going to torture her.
And then the fawn
appears again, yeah.
Yeah, he greets Ophelia in her room.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, I will give you one more task to help redeem yourself. And so he tells her to go get her baby brother and to meet the fawn at the center of the labyrinth. And so, God, that was such an intense scene. He was like, oh my God, because you've got
so much going on.
Yeah.
It was just like, bam, 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 bam.
Like, the stepdad is in his office he's constantly watching this baby. Because it's his son. So it's like an heir to everything that he's done. And so Ophelia has to sneak and get the baby from under the watchful eye of the stepdad. And
it doesn't go well
does not go well. Oh my God.
They end up following her, and she's running and
she cuts his mouth.
Oh yeah, it was a very heroic scene. She runs and she tries to take the baby, and then Ophelia was holding him, and then they shoot her.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, okay. No. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking of more details with it because he's like, give me the baby. Oh no. Before that, the fawn. What did he say to her about? Because he appeared to her because she brought the baby.
Oh yeah, true.
And he's like, okay, and he gives her dagger, and she has to kill the baby.
He's like, you have to kill the baby in order to enter into the world where you get to see your mother and father.
Yeah, because like he needs innocent blood, and her blood wasn't innocent enough anymore because she like ate. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she's like, well, I'm not gonna do that. Like, no. And so he's like, well, that was your only chance, and he disappears.
And
that's when the stepdad comes up.
That's when the stepdad and like a whole bunch of soldiers run in, and it
was just the stepdad. It was just the stepdad by himself.
Oh, was it just the stepdad?
Yeah.
Oh, right, you're right. And the sister made it back to her brother.
Yeah, to go get them and come back.
It was just kind of like they all meet up all at that one labyrinth, and Ophelia's holding the baby.
No, they don't come. It was just the stepdad, because he kills her and then he walks out of the labyrinth to meet the army.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he shoots Ophelia
after she gives him the baby.
Yeah, and he takes the baby and leaves Ophelia to die.
Yeah. Oh God, that was.
It was sad. And like after the rebels get the dad, and
they shoot the dad after
Mercedes
they take the baby.
Mm-hmm. They go find her, and they're just like devastated.
Yeah, because like they were gonna take her with them, and like Ophelia would have been taken care of because Mercedes took care of Ophelia, and so it was heartbreaking for Mercedes and the rebels because they're like, this is a child, but after that, we see that Ophelia wakes up in the fairy world.
Yep, and she sees her mother
and her father,
and her baby brother's there.
No. Her baby brother's alive. It's her father.
I know, but the mom has the baby with her, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Where did you see that?
I don't know.
She was like she was in like a huge like dress
and they were
in her
royalty.
Yeah,
and it was beautiful, and the fawn was there, and everybody was cheering, and everybody was happy.
Yeah,
and then like it goes back to the real life, and she's dead.
Yeah, well, and
sad.
they were saying the fawn was saying like because or it was maybe her dad. It was someone there that said, because you refused to sacrifice the life of the baby, you sacrificed your own life, that you were able to come back home. And yeah, that song too was beautiful.
Beautiful song.
I think the first time I saw it, I cried.
Really
I just cried.
Popular song.
Yeah, but that's the movie. And of course, there's other things that happen that we didn't go into detail about.
Yes, because we want you to see the movie.
Yeah, but I wanted to say the thing I was going to say, that Del Toro, he had said that about like whether or not it's just like a fantasy, like whether or not what Ophelia was seeing was real. He said it was. What she was seeing, what she was experiencing, that was all real. And her going back home, that was real.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
It wasn't fake. It wasn't fake.
Yeah, but he did confirm a sequel in 2007. And it was going to be called 3993, but he abandoned it to do Hellboy 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Oh, man.
Like, are you kidding me?
But it would have been about the brother. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, yeah, what would it have been about? I don't want to be like, write him a letter and be like, hey, oye, Senor Del Toro, I want to know why can you please still do this? But I know he's working on Pacific Rim 2, or like, he's not going to be a director, but he's going to be like a producer or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's working on that. But I mean,
it's a beautiful movie, guys.
It's so pretty.
Seriously, go check it out. Like, don't be turned off by the subtitles in the Spanish, because it's so worth it. And the storyline's amazing, and it's different. It's
original. It's very original. A funny thing about Del Toro in this movie, Del Toro has a hatred for horses. It's because they're so difficult to work with. He hates them. This movie, he's like, that just deepened it even more. It was just a random funny fact about it. He just couldn't stand it.
Oh, also, by the way, apparently this movie reflected his negative feelings towards the Catholic Church.
Ooh, I did not realize that.
Yeah, because I was reading an article, and it said that this movie was basically his representation of how he has hatred towards the Catholic Church, because they just take advantage of young children and, you know, poison their mind and all this stuff. And I was just like, that's crazy.
Whoa. Whoa.
So, yeah, there's a lot of meanings towards this movie. And,
yeah,
it's crazy
deep symbolism.
Yeah, he put his soul into this.
And he did.
And most of the movies that he's like directed are amazing. They're just weird.
He doesn't half-ass his movies. He puts everything into it, which is good, and it can be bad, but it is good because you feel it. You feel it when you watch it. And the box office, that definitely showed it, because they had a budget of $19 million. The box office, they got $83.3 million.
What?
So, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, like, please watch this movie. Like, if there's one movie you watch from what we've already talked about, let it be that one.
Yes.
Like, that movie, it deserved every bit of recognition, every dollar.
Every award.
Yeah, like, it is truly a cinematic masterpiece.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the music topped it.
Oh my god, the music. Like, the last song at the end. That's what because, like, you're just sitting there. Because when you watch it, you think, is it real, or did she just really die? Like, or is that all in her head? And so when I first watched it, I thought it was all in her head. And I sat there and cried. Just cried. And then after a while, I was like, nope, I'm going to think she went home. And then, like, find out she did go home. But it was like, I really thought, I was like, she's dead! How did you feel after you finished it?
I just sat there, and I was just like in deep thought. I was just like, is this how life is? It's like, does this happen to actual children? Like, what's happening? I was just in deep. It's one of those movies that make you think, and that was what I was doing. I was thinking of everything possible in my head. I was just like, oh my gosh.
But seriously, yeah, like, watch that one.
Watch it.
Like,
now.
That is a demand.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go ahead and answer the quote today. The quote is from Ratatouille.
It sounds like from some, like, deep and, like, philosophical movie, even though we just talked about, like, Pan's Labyrinth, where it is, like, very deep and has a lot of symbolism. No, that quote's just from Ratatouille.
The best. I love that movie
it's so
much.
Cute.
I love it.
It's weird, Like, really, a rat training a chef how to cook, but still it's fun. It's so much
cute.
fun. It's so cute.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
But you guys, stay tuned. We will be back on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Since this is the last episode of this season, because we plan on doing another one next year.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little break, but we'll have a special for Halloween and Christmas.
Yep. Yay!
So you guys have a wonderful what?
We should go live on New Year's.
Mm.
That would be cool!
New Year's or New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve.
Depends on what we're doing.
Yeah, okay.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about maybe during the Christmas episode or whatnot.
Stay tuned!
Yeah, you guys have a wonderful day, weekend,
afternoon
on this planet Earth.
On this planet Earth.
And we hope for the best for you all.
That was corny.
I know. I wanted to say something inspirational. Stop judging me. Seriously, like, we appreciate whoever's listening.
Thank you for listening to our podcast and sticking with us throughout this whole season.
Yeah. I'm being corny because that movie just reminded me of that sad moment. This is so sad.
You're right.
Yeah, being mean.
You guys live your dreams.
That was really bad, actually.
Do your goals.
Do your goals.
Succeed in life. The only person that's stopping you is you. Okay, bye! Bye, guys!
Cut it off. They're like, no. Bye, guys. Have a great day.